Hey guys, how's it going? My name is JStatik and this is the Statik Sessions. So today we're going to be doing another song breakdown. Since they've been going kind of so well so far, I've seen a lot of notes in the comments about breaking down other songs. One of the requested ones was funk, so I decided why not do that today. I'm going to be going through how the beat was layered out, what I used in terms of loops, what I played, the vocal recordings to the finished product. So we're going to go right into it right now, dive right in. This entire project. Now, I have two separate files for this. So I have one where I made the music, and I have a second one where I did all of the vocal processing. I couldn't do them both all in one because the computer I used to have was really slow. So this one is so much easier. I have a couple of loops being played. I have a couple of chords that I played out. I had a guy come in and play some live bass. And then I have drums, which I laid out the way I thought they need to be laid out. Hence, the reason why the song was called Funk is because we tried to give it a funk type of vibe. I'm going to start off by explaining the chords. So we'll go in, play the chords one by one. You guys get an idea of what it is. So here's the first chord that I played out. Super easy and simple. Once you go into the more of a build-up part, it goes. I also have this little synth that's on top of it, which goes. So for the chords first, what I used was these piano violet chords. I don't even know where they are, to be honest. Yeah, there you go. Piano violet chords. I don't know what it's under, where it is, but these chords were awesome. Use that. And then for the synth, I use this Battle Time 140 BPM. I'm pretty sure it does some so it's got some parts to it which sound good. I, by accident, moved up the chord pattern to the lead, and it ended up creating this kind of melody for the sound, and I liked it so much I didn't want to replay it or do anything. So you'll notice it just still has that kick that's in here from that part. It just comes in. I liked it, so I left it in. After that, there were some other chords that I had in here. I don't remember what they were because I had to bounce them because my computer was too slow once again. So I bounced them and then I put them back in. So it is what it is. Oh no, these are just the bounces of these three files. Ah, I see. I haven't opened up this file in a while, as you can tell. And if you guys are looking over here where it says JJF2 chords, which that's Prophecy's doing, he laid out some chords for the bridge because he thought something was nice in the bridge. So he laid out that part. Prophecy had a big part in the song because when we first came together, it was me, Prophecy, and I think Fateh. And then we had Pav on FaceTime, I believe. Prophecy had some melodies laid down already, and we all liked it so much. But I think Prophecy started doing his like a couple of his own songs or whatever, and then we kind of finished the track with Prophecy's help on the side. And Prophecy was just like, take the song, go, roll with it, do your thing. So we did it, and it came out really good. Wish he was still on it, though. As you can tell, Prophecy's chord playing is way better and nicer. There's also this. Those are grand chords, nothing crazy. Now when we go up to the top, we can go through some of the drum playing. I've never made a funk song before this, so I didn't know what to play, what to do, any of that kind of stuff. So I wanted to find grooves that kind of fit what I was trying to go for. So I found this one groove first, J to the 5, drums, 90 in the key of C. If you listen to it, the song's not in the key of C, by the way. But if you listen to it, it sounds really good. Sounds really cool. I gave the whole song this groove where it never sounded consistent. It sounded like a live set, which I thought was really cool, and I wanted to keep that. Another hi-hat pattern that I had that I thought went with it was this. I thought that was cool. I found this little snare that's over here. Sounded nice to me. I thought that was kind of cool. And then I had this drum, which I thought sounded really cool when it fit all together. It sounded live to me, and it sounded processed. It had like a really cool like live little punch of a kick, and then it had that thump, low end thump, which I thought sounded cool too. Throughout the entire song, I had this 808. It just filled up the entire low end really nicely. And after that, when it came down to the bass line, I had one of my friends come in. His name's Panda, and he came in and he actually played out a really cool groovy bass line to this whole entire pattern, which I had the chorus bass line already from a loop. I'll show you guys what that sounds like. I thought this sounded really cool. Thought that sounded really cool, but what we needed was something for the beginning part, because otherwise the whole song sounded like a constant loop that never changed. He came in and played this. I thought that sounded really cool. It sounded nice. Gave the whole song a different type of vibe. And when it came down to the chorus, I had a couple other things that were added in. So this simple cowbell. Then I had another cowbell that was sitting underneath. After that, I had some triangle things being played, which found a loop on Splice. Now the whole thing has got this groove now. Like nothing was flying away from this groove. And it sounded really cool. To give the beginning part of the song, instead of using like a crash to like have the beginning part of a drum loop that people usually add to the beginning part of a drum loop, what I did was add this like, hey, that's at the beginning of it. I thought that sounded cool because when the whole drum comes in, it sounds really cool. It sounds like this. And it's not your normal crash. I thought that was kind of cool. And then after that, got these. Just some wah-wah guitars that sounded kind of cool. Added a groove to it once again. And then that's just to keep it a little bit more hip-hop because I still have my hip-hop stuff in there. And that is basically the entire kit of drums, to the chords that I played, to some of the little samples of drums and stuff. The drums were the hard part for me because I did try to make that groove, but every time I would make it, it would sound robotic. Like there was no easy feel to it. So I thought, leave that to professionals who've played it. I found the right ones, put them together, and I made my own song out of it. So once this was done, I took this, exported all these as stems, and then I moved into the project when it came down to mixing, where I took the vocals also, which were recorded on another project, and then I brought all of it together for the mixing project. So I'm going to open up that right now. So here's the project all laid out. As you can tell, everything's like one big long WAV file. What I did was, now that I had the individual files and low CPU processing, like it was easy to work with this, I chopped up and I did the entire arrangement of the song the way I thought it needed to be. We had different lengths of verses, to Fateh's part, which was like a nice 16-bar verse, to Pav's parts, which were I think 12s for the most part, then the chorus, then we had a bridge. So there was a lot of layers there was a lot of parts to it. So I found the right arrangement and arranged it that way. We'll start off with Fateh's and we'll go into his vocals. So in Fateh's vocals, really simply, he had an ad-lib layer track. He had two left and rights, which were just like usually the rhyming words, and he had his one main vocal layer. One had auto-tune on it, and one was just like a simple rap. So if you listen to it, it sounds like this.
Pav Dharia JStatik Fateh सारी रात बिलो नचदी सी तू मैनू दस किदा थकदी नी तू उची अड्डी पाके किना तू जचदी.
It sounds like there's a lot of reverb and delay on it, and obviously there is when you're just soloing that, but in the mix it sounds more balanced. So on this itself, this is before I had UAD, just purely using Waves plugins. So I had the API 2500, added the first initial layer of all the processing. After that, threw on an EQ, got rid of any crappy little lows. After that, had a CLA 2A. I did the same thing, which you guys have seen in other videos, the suppressors to the JJP Renaissance, gave it that little bit of limiting to bring out any of those accents that I wanted. Then control any of the highs or lows so that it's kind of more balanced, and then bring everything up to the front with the RVox. And that's pretty much it. Fateh, for the most part, does his mixing job pretty well. And then I just take it and do a little bit of tweaking. I don't do intense stuff to his, even though it looks like a lot of layers. It wasn't heavily done. It was very lightly done. What I did do was I separated his main tracks from his sides, so that his sides had way more reverb. So it made the song, as soon as like the rhyming words would come in, it would just sound like echoes and it would disappear, and then echoes and disappear, or reverb and disappear, compared to his mains, which were mainly dry for that point.
ਸੀ ਤੂੰ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦੱਸ ਕਿਦਾਂ ਥੱਕਦੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਤੂੰ ਉੱਚੀ ਅੱਡੀ ਪਾ ਕੇ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਤੂੰ ਜੱਚਦੀ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਏ.
Adds a little bit of variation on even vocals. It adds like a element to it, which sounds really cool. I like that a lot. Now we'll go down to Pav's part. Pav, we had a mixture of stuff. So we had stuff that he recorded while he was here. Then we had stuff that he re-recorded while he was in Australia, I believe. I'm pretty sure. Maybe not. Actually, maybe he recorded all this here. I can't remember. Don't have a good memory. So when it comes down to his vocal processing, again, really simple. I use pretty much the same types of plugins, but I use them differently. I don't know if you saw, but on Fateh's I had a little bit more high end on his. On this one I didn't. So we just went through and processed them a little bit differently. Quickly go through them. So you have your API, has the initial staging of compression, had the CLA 2A, had a little bit more compression, the suppressors, which were really nice and used, the JJP vocals. Still in the green, nothing crazy, not heavily used. Had another Renaissance axe to the C4 to control any of that stuff, and then an RVox at the end just to bring out the vocals to the front. You listen to these vocals on their own, sound really nice.
ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਪੁੱਛ ਲੈ ਭਾਵੇਂ ਚੰਨ ਤਾਰਿਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਪੁੱਛ ਲੈ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਪੁੱਛ ਲੈ ਭਾਵੇਂ ਚੰਨ ਤਾਰਿਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਪੁੱਛ ਲੈ.
The cool thing about working with Pav, he can do all of his own harmonies, which is sick, because for a lot of artists, it's hard to even sing on key. For guys with talent like Pav and Prophecy and Fateh, they can do all their own harmonies. So for this, he had his own harmonies over here, which you can tell is on a different key, but it sounds really cool the way he does it. And we had some for the beginning as well, but we never used them. We wanted to bring them in a little bit later. It would have just got boring. It would have sounded like it kept coming in. So that was that. On the chorus, he had a lot of layers, and this was really cool. So we'll go through some of those just so you hear them.
ਜੇ ਨਾ ਬਿੱਲੋ ਜੱਚਦੀ ਨਾ ਜੇ ਨਾ ਬਿੱਲੋ ਜੱਚਦੀ ਨਾ ਪਿੰਡ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੈਂਦੇ ਨਾ ਪੁਆੜੇ ਜੇ ਨਾ ਬਿੱਲੋ ਜੱਚਦੀ ਨਾ ਪਿੰਡ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੈਂਦੇ ਨਾ ਪੁਆੜੇ ਐਵੇਂ ਪੱਬ ਚੱਕਦੀ ਨਾ ਜੇ ਨਾ ਬਿੱਲੋ ਜੱਚਦੀ ਨਾ ਪਿੰਡ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੈਂਦੇ ਨਾ ਪੁਆੜੇ ਜੇ ਨਾ ਬਿੱਲੋ ਜੱਚਦੀ ਨਾ ਪਿੰਡ ਜੇ ਨਾ ਬਿੱਲੋ ਜੱਚਦੀ ਨਾ ਪਿੰਡ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੈਂਦੇ ਨਾ ਪੁਆੜੇ.
You might hate me for showing you guys this, but it's alright.
ਜੱਚਦੀ ਨਾ ਜੇ ਨਾ ਬਿੱਲੋ ਜੱਚਦੀ ਨਾ ਪਿੰਡ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੈਂਦੇ ਨਾ ਪੁਆੜੇ ਜੇ ਨਾ ਬਿੱਲੋ ਜੱਚਦੀ ਨਾ ਪਿੰਡ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੈਂਦੇ ਨਾ ਪੁਆੜੇ ਐਵੇਂ ਪੱਬ ਚੱਕਦੀ ਨਾ
So there's a lot of layers in this, which sounded really cool. It just brought the entire thing, like it just made the chorus sound huge. So when you hear it in the final mix, it sounds like this. That's the best part about recording with Pav and Prophecy and Fateh and Mickey and all these guys. They're not afraid of doing like multiple layers and trying to figure out stuff and take away stuff. Even for guys like me, like it gets overwhelming because you're recording like 30 layers and like, holy shit, like what do I use this? Do I not use this? Do I use that? But then with their help, you kind of figure out like, okay, this is not good. This sounds great. Let's keep this. Let's get rid of this. And that's really cool. So now if we forward in a bit, we also have this ending part over here where the bridge is.
तेरे पीछे हाड़े मेरी अग वांग मचदी
Completely last minute. This was at the, I don't even remember when this happened actually, but Pav asked Amrit if he wanted to do the bridge on this, and he ripped it, man. He did it. I think he sent it to us within like a week, and he killed it. So this is Amrit on the track. He's got a whole different tone in his voice. It sounds really cool. Then underneath that we had Pav still there.
ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਤੱਕ ਲੈ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਜੀ ਕਰਦਾ ਚੱਕ ਲਾਂ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਜੇ ਨਾ ਮਿਲ ਗੱਜਦੀ ਨਾ
And that's it. That is the entire track laid out from the beat to the entire vocal treatment to who was involved, how we got the track done. Then we have the mastering process, which you guys have seen in all the other videos. It's nothing's really different. Same thing. Widen the track, get rid of the lows. Treat the highs a little bit. On this, I added some compression, I believe. Yeah, just a little bit of compression just to bring that punch back out, and we were good to go. One last cool little thing I wanted to explain about this track, because, I mean, it's my production at the end of the day, and I wanted to explain a little bit to you guys. If you listen to the overall song, the song's in D minor, but if you listen to the chords, it's actually D harmonic minor. So the chords are actually, it is D minor, but C sharp's in there as well. So when you're hearing the chords, it actually, what it would be in D minor would be, but it's not that, it's, and I thought that was kind of cool because it gave a whole different, little bit of a darkish type vibe to a happy song. So it kind of made it seem, even though it's more of an upbeat song, it still has emotion in it. And that was a really cool thing. So shout out to even Pav Fateh and Prophecy for even attempting to do the song and giving it the vibe they did. They rolled with it, which just naturally seemed fit, and they killed it. So that's something. Don't be afraid to take experiments and be experimental and do things that you want to do. Even if they sound off, try them out. Who cares? If it doesn't work, move on to the next one. Never get stuck. And that is it. That is the entire overall process of this entire song, Funk. So I hope you guys liked it. If you guys have any questions, if you guys had any ideas on what you want to do and you wanted to ask me any questions, if you're trying to make a funk type of song, I haven't made one since then, but if you guys want to make a funk type of song, definitely hit me up in the comments. I am getting back to comments as much as I can, and as I keep doing it, I'll keep on getting back to you guys as much as I can. Until then, keep on commenting, keep on subscribing, hit that little bell for future notifications. Thank you very much.